These are 1001 winning sacrifices of all time in chess, and if you complete these tactics with me, your rating will go high 500 points. So without further ado, on to the video. This is the first and basic one. This is white to move, and you have to find the stunning idea. We can see the queen is pinned, so we can use the fact that we can attack the queen. Our queen is protected, so this trick will work. Now your queen is under attack, so black captures the queen, but we don't need to capture because this is losing. Now white rook is hanging, so first we deliver a check with the rook, and now once the king move, we are going to capture the queen and we are a rook up. Coming to the next one, which is very wonderful. The second sacrifices comes here with the stunning rook sacrifice. Now we see the problem, this knight is pinned, so you cannot really move it. This is the only move. You cannot keep an eye on the knight, and you have to capture this rook, and once you capture, we eliminated this knight defense so that we can capture with the queen, and once you go back, we can play the bishop move and the checkmate is threatened. So you cannot really save the checkmate. Once you try to avoid this with the queen trade, we will not trade the queen, we will deliver a check, and you have to go back, and this is a wonderful checkmate on the board. Coming to the third sacrifice, which is very cunning. We will see. Here it looks like black is just up a piece, but we have to win the piece back, and this is very exciting. We can see these two pieces, knight and the bishop, are aligned in the same file in the D. So we just push the pawn, and now you want to deflect this knight by capturing this, and we capture the free knight, and this is good for white. So we just wanted to win a piece. This is obvious, black can still hold and black is winning in this position, but we have to see how we can win a free piece. Here if you just try to move this knight away, then we can just push the pawn again using the power of the rook because the bishop is pinned, and again we are going to capture one free piece. Coming to the next one, this is the fourth and the most exciting. Again this is white to move, and we have to use the fact that the queen is aligned in front of the rook. So we can just take with the bishop, and once the queen is attacked twice, you want to capture with the queen. You cannot capture with the pawn because your queen is hanging, so you want to capture with the queen. And we don't have this bishop capture, because if you just capture, the queen capture, and we are not having any good advantage. So white has to find this queen exchange first, and once you capture, we have this bishop capture using the power of this rook because the pawn is pinned, and we are simply up a piece. Coming to the next one, this is the most exciting chess tactic and sacrifice ever seen. You would see this bishop and the queen is aligned in the same diagonal, but we cannot use this very much. But after you go for this wonderful rook sacrifice, once you capture with the pawn, we have the interesting idea with the bishop in the corner on h8. Now you are getting checkmated. You don't have a move, this knight is pinned, and checkmate is just threatened, so you need to give up the queen, and once you give up the queen, again there is a checkmate. You play any of the move like this and you are getting checkmated. So you have to remember that even the bishop is not behind the queen. We can use this fact after this bishop capture, this pawn capture, and we can place the bishop in the corner by using the queen. You can deliver the checkmate, but you have to remember this knight is pinned, so that is why this trick is working. Coming to the next one, this is the sixth and the most exciting one. Here we don't see really a winning move. You can deliver some checks with the queen, but this will not help, and we can just repeat the position. But using this, you can see the queen and king is in the same diagonal, and we have to deliver a check, and you cannot really block with the bishop because you are getting checkmated, so you will have to move the king, and using this check we can bring the queen in the third rank, and once you go back with the king, we find this interesting bishop move, now pinning the queen and hence winning the queen for the bishop. So you can use these tactics by just remaneuvering your queen to a very good square where you can just support your bishop and you can pin this with the bishop, or you can capture some other hanging pieces with the queen in this fashion. Coming to the next one, this is the seventh and the most exciting one, and you would have never seen this tactic ever, and we reach the position from the thumbnail. You would see this wonderful queen sacrifice taking place here. And why this is wonderful? Because once you capture with the queen, this king is going to capture your queen. You have this stunning idea with this knight attacking the queen, and the pawn is pinned, so you cannot move any of the pawn, and the king is stuck. So you need to give up the queen, and once you give up the queen, the checkmate is in the next move and you cannot really do anything. And if you really go here to capture the bishop, we are delivering this wonderful checkmate. But you can also run away with the king. We can deliver this check and your king is stuck in the center of the board. You need to come with the knight and we can play the knight move attacking this queen, and the game is simply over for black. We can bring the other rook into the game and this is completely winning. Coming to the next one, and this is the eighth and the most wonderful one. You would have seen this queen is always coming to attack the queen so that we cannot take this rook. It's obvious queen is going to capture. But now when you have the bishop in the same diagonal, you can just place this bishop here using the power that this knight is pinned with the rook. So this trick is working. Now the queen is under attack. So you want to take something and you capture the queen. Now we play bishop capture and the rook is under attack and the rook of black is lost. So completely winning for white. Coming to the next, and this is the second last of this video. So before we move further and talk about the most interesting two tactics, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that once you complete this 1001 tactics with me, your gameplay will definitely enhance and you will surprise your opponent definitely. So coming to this one, this knight is overloaded because the bishop is going to capture this and that no tactic is working if you don't remove this knight from here. So first move we can think of just eliminate this knight. And why we are doing this? Because once you capture with the rook, we have the pawn push and the bishop is under attack. But the problem is that this knight is going to capture it and we don't have anything. So that we need to eliminate this knight which is causing the problem, and we eliminate this knight first. So it doesn't matter you capture with the bishop, this pawn or the rook, both are just the same, and we push this wonderful pawn and that's it. So this bishop is under attack. You might want to play this rook move so that you can deliver a check and pick up the bishop too. But after we just pick up this pawn capture, and once you deliver a check, we can just move the king and the pawn is getting promoted in the next move. So you might want to just go for the rook move, but we just challenge the rook and you cannot really capture because of this check and you are getting checkmated. So you need to capture this, and once we capture with the rook, you don't have time to capture the pawn because you are getting checkmated here. And you have to make the pawn push like this, still we deliver a check and we are completely winning. Coming to the last one of this video. This is not very exciting, but obviously a good tactic to remember. This is white to move again and you have to find this bishop check. And why this is working, you would see. We can play the king move or you can also block with something, but once you play the king move, we can just play the knight here, pressurizes the rook and pressurizes the pawn also. So you might want to play this rook move, but we can just take this and the bishop is under attack and the rook is also under attack. Rook doesn't have a good move to go, so you need to capture with the bishop. Once we capture with the knight, this bishop is under attack, knight is under attack, and that's it. It just lost a piece. You need to go for the rook takes if you don't want to lose the bishop, and once we take this, this is completely winning for white.